What's popping with a Shofu the BeatDown? I'm going to show you guys how I color my art today. So I'm going to show you what I did, how I did it, and how I got to my final result. So I won't be too detailed. I'm going to make it easy to understand, and I'm going to show you some tricks in the process. So I started with a little sketch. It was rough. Boom, put the ink on top. Got the white background so I could see what was going on here. And I let go of everything. I like to color in the eyes so I know where the eyes are. I don't want to color the eyes in by accident. When I feel like I have it all together, I do a flat coloring. I will color everything on the same layer like that. All I really have to do is make sure the reference layer at the top of the screen, as I pointed right here, get the color you need to color in, you drag and drop, that's it. The reference layer, what that really means is that the color you drop in will not go past the threshold of the black line. So that makes it easier to color, as you're seeing right now. I can do this all day. If I drag it in, I don't let go, I can color the whole page, I can go through the black line, or I can stay inside the black line. And then boom, rinse and repeat until you get the full image. Now we're gonna learn how to shade real quick. If anything you take from me today, you need to learn what a clipping mask is. A clipping mask is a layer on top of another layer's shape that you can color on top of without directly affecting a layer underneath. It forces you to color inside the lines on top of whatever the image is. So as you see right here, I can't go outside the lines. You cannot see my ink go past that line. Okay? That's the easiest way to shade. So, knowing that, the main reason I bought this app in the first place for like 15 bucks and it gives you free updates forever is because the layers you can put on top of other layers, you can make the opacity change. So it comes off like a painting rather than a drawing. There's a little bit of airbrush techniques you can put in there. There's hard paint, there's hard airbrush, there's so many different types of coloring. And this already comes with the app. You can create your own inks, a different story. But for right now, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm just playing around with where to shade, and I erase it with an airbrush to make it smooth, or I don't. I erase it with a hard brush to make the colors obviously a little more bold and in your face. So I'm using an actual purple, but I'm making the purple so opaque and so translucent and transparent that it looks like it's a darker shade of brown. So I use this color over the entire image, this dark bluish purple you see in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and I just go over everything I see. And I either blend it in or I leave it more bold of a shade. So if it's like a shadow, a cast shadow, for example, then it'll be a little bolder. And if it's like a core shadow, I'll leave it soft. The second reason I bought this app was because I found out you can erase your core shadows and cast shadows and have them blend outwards by erasing with the airbrush in the first place. So it looks way more computerized, way more vectorized, way cleaner. And it just adds to your, overall look of whatever you're trying to draw. So you just draw the shapes and erase them as you please to see what kind of shading technique you want to look like you did on the image. Excuse me for my lack of lingo and stuff like that. I only know what I know. So yeah. So anyway, you can keep doing this all over the entire drawing. This is what I had when I was done doing it the first time. I blended it all the way out so everything looks soft, shaded, and then I'm gonna go in and do the exact same layer again on top of itself. So as you see, I put the harder shading on top of the softer shading. Now I feel like, for my art style, this is good enough, and I can move on to the next part, which would be the highlights. As a quick side note, all those bent arrows are all clipping masks, and they all will apply to the same layer, which is the flat color layer you see, layer 2, the very bottom layer 2 right there. So quick recap, we started with the little drawing, put the ink on, put the background on, you can see, you colored the eyes, and then you do the flat coloring. Then you start to do your method of shading. Another side note, click on those letters that you see to edit as you see fit. As you see, this is overlay, so overlay works when you use blue on top of other colors to make them look cooler, blah, 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 blah. Make it, make the opacity bigger or smaller. As you see, I go all the way to the right and it goes darker, go to the left, it goes lighter. So I put it right 44%. That's what I feel was the best at the time. For me, this is usually enough, but every now and then when I do an image I'm not going to do ever again, I put highlights on so I can finish the painting. So I go to a light color, I make a new clipping mask, I start putting the lighter color on the skin right here. I like to use orange or yellow sometimes, little warm colors for light shading and highlights and stuff like that. And I go back and I erase, like I always do, to make the shapes look a little more organic as opposed to just some thick line across the arm. So yeah, so I got a little bit of orange. I'll blend it in like always. I make the opacity go a little bit more down. It'll blend in. It'll be transparent on top of the brown, and I feel like they look like a little nice highlight going for them. Same thing right over here. If you can see that blue, I did a lighter blue all over his body. It's a lighter color all over. Even the shoes right here. You take it off, put it back on. You can see a tiny bit of detail, and that's what I like to put. A little bit of detail. That was it for now. You like that shit? Let me know. I'll do a whole lot more. Bye.